This is my 5th year in district. My first year was 2019-2020. And recall in March of 2020 is when we were safer at home.
There was a lot of things that took place during 2020 where some inequities just kind of came to light.
When we came back that next year after COVID, we had adopted a hybrid model. So some students came 2 days a week, another group of students came 2 days, and just the disconnect.
And I kept receiving these concerns from students, from teachers, from parents. This event is happening, and it had a lot to do with hurtful statements, inherent biases, and just really terrible events happening in our school. One of the first instances, we had a student in a classroom, and that student, there's a student of color sitting across from that student, and the kid said something along the lines of a lynching. How does that child ever come back to school and know that, you know what, this is a good place for me? It's those flashbulb moments that we were having too many of.
I had a group of 6 students of color, and they came to me sobbing, literally. Why they chose me, honestly, like, I have 2 children of color, and I'm the closest thing they have in this district, which is, it is what it is. It's what most, I would say, of Southwest Wisconsin is. We just cried together for a really long time. And then they said, we need to make a change. And I was like, I am right there with you. What do you want me to do? I'll do anything. So I think it was a shared passion for wanting to do better. And it was really cool. I think that it was student-led.
And as a school district, I think one of my goals in a position of leadership was to make sure that we were a building that everyone felt safe, everyone felt supported, and everyone had the opportunity to learn and really be successful. From there, I think I recognized, boy, there's a need to communicate to our students. I don't think there's bad students or bad teachers or anything like that. It was just, I think Mrs. Zachary says it a lot, if you know better, you do better. So there was a need for education, and that's where the partnership with Center for All really came into play.
And then out of that came our administration, specifically our superintendent, hiring Center for All, which I think is the most amazing thing we ever could have done for our district. It changed our district.
And so as this evolved conversations back and forth, the Center for All got to know our district, and we started planning how can we build this so it's a sustainable effort in which at some point in time, which is today, the Center for All is moving on to other districts they are currently in the position we were in, and we have a self-sustaining model. So that's kind of the genesis of it. It took listen, we have a need, let's try this. And then it built from there.
People go into teaching because they have a heart for students, and that is what has shown through this journey. It's not that we didn't want what's best for them, it's that we didn't know. And I think that's what the Center for All did for us, was they gave us the tools. Teachers are students first and they want to learn, but we needed to know how. And when we know better, we do better. And that has been the coolest thing, is for a teacher to recognize what I thought was being helpful was actually causing harm, and I'll never do it again. And I'm gonna make all these changes. Students and teachers see each other as people first, which is really powerful, and that's how change is made.
I now have people to go to. Sometimes I don't always feel comfortable telling my parents things, but now I have teachers that don't necessarily act as therapists, but they are another kind of outreach where I can just go, sit down, have a conversation about how my day has gone, and if it turns into kind of something more serious like that, then I have somebody to go to, and I know that I am welcomed within my classroom, and it really makes an impact on my learning.
I truly do feel more comfortable with who I am, and I feel more brave as being the only biracial student in my grade, living in a white predominantly community, and I don't feel like I'm hiding behind something. I can actually be confident with myself. There has been a time with me personally, my freshman year, there was some things being said behind my back, and my friend group at the time, they kind of thought oh, it's okay, it's not directly said towards you, but it's obviously being said about me. And the whole impact versus intent, they all thought it was like a joke, but like the impact that actually like left behind. I thought my friends would have my back during the situation. It definitely did hurt, but then you see the people who like truly care about these certain situations. And so like my principal, like he truly did care about what was going on, and he handled the situation very well. And just seeing that like just really showed like how we're actually like making a change at Platteville High School.
We had a student move in from another district, and they're from a smaller school where pretty much anything being said towards them racially like pretty much slid, and it was okay in their school. But once they got to our school, the same thing happened with another student, and he was getting like verbally harassed and like being made fun of on a daily, until he actually spoke up, because he didn't know that Platteville's a place where you're allowed to speak up and you're allowed to be like, hey, you're not actually allowed to be saying all these racist comments and things like that. My friend, he was super shocked, to be honest. He was like, because he's so used to things not changing and him just having to like deal with it, that when it actually does get changed, like it's just a surprise to him. And it's like, he felt more like confident and proud to be himself more than anything. Like he was ashamed to be African American, and I just like seeing how proud he is to be who he is, and he's just a true person all in all now.
And now it's so beautiful because it's not a thing that we do, it's who we are.
It sets the culture for our students to feel safe, our students to feel supported. It's not about ACT scores or numbers or anything like that, but it's amazing to see the correlation that, hey, if students are safe, they're gonna learn. They're gonna show up to school, they want to be here. If they're here, they're learning. So that correlation is actually really strong, and the data backs that up too.
It's in every decision that we make. It's in every policy that we create. It's in every board decision. It's not, oh yeah, don't forget we need to think about student belonging. It's like student belonging is forefront, and that's the lens that we look through all other decisions that we make.
It matters because your students matter. This will, and it has, change your district. We're always looking at, as leaders, what's going to move the needle? What's going to improve? I mean, we've been trying to figure out education for thousands of years. This is one thing that if you honor it, if you put the funding behind it, if you focus and you make it a sustainable effort, it's going to change your district to be a better place.